Welcome back. You're watching The Agenda. Well, it's an historic day for Zimbabweans as they head to the polls. The polls open at 7 o'clock, and I understand it's going to close at 7 p.m. today. We've got an army of reporters and camera people stationed in Zimbabwe, so you can be rest assured that we have all the angles covered right here on SABC News. Let's get your opinion now, and I understand Glenn from Bedford View is on the line. A very good morning to you, Glenn. What's your comment?
Good morning, Tim. I believe that the current president, incumbent president, is going to win the election. And I actually think that it's a better option if he wins, because alliances in politics, they never work out.
What do you like about the current president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, in terms of what he's saying? I understand that, he was big on jobs and big on trying to reform the economy. What stands out for you, Glenn?
Well, for one, Evan, I like my wife very much more to begin with. And I think that President Emmerson Mnangagwa has been there since day one with Mugabe. He has seen all the mistakes they committed together, so he's really willing now to transform the country, I believe. But now the alliance side, my fear is that in politics, that kind of alliances, they never work out. You'll see if these guys do win the elections, 3 months down the line, they start to crumble. You understand what I'm saying? Because alliances in politics, they never work out. You can go to any country, it doesn't work out.
Glenn, thank you very much indeed for your comments. Glenn from Bedford View, thank you very much for your time. I understand we've got another caller, Brighton. Very good morning to you, Brighton. Is Brighton on the line? Brighton, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well, and you, sir. What's your comment?
My comment is simple and straightforward. The people of Zimbabwe are tired of ZANU-PF. They have to go. We don't accept any other results besides the MDC victory, because this is the only party which can take us forward.
Okay, thank you.
Interesting how polarized those calls are. One says the Chamisa side won't work out, and Brighton reckons that they need to go.
I guess it's between these two front runners, isn't it? President Mnangagwa as well as Nelson Chamisa. A lot of support on either side. Many are saying that it's too close to call. Previous elections were somewhat predictable.
And this is where alliances will come in.
Yeah, and I guess the dynamics have changed, especially in terms of the campaigning.
All right, let's just take another caller. Tinashe calling from Cape Town, but just on the basis of the name, we assume, are you Zimbabwean, Tinashe?
Yes, I'm Zimbabwean.
Tell us, what are your thoughts this morning?
No, I'm just expecting a victory for MDC, because some of us also want to go back home and contribute to the economic development of the country. But as the situation is right now...
Have you been following the process, the electoral process and the campaigns?
Yes, I've been following.
Do you think your hopes are realistic that Nelson Chamisa will come out victorious?
Yes, our hopes are looking at the situation on the ground and the rallies that we've been witnessing. I think it's realistic that Nelson Chamisa can win. It's only fiction or fictitious that a person like Emmerson Mnangagwa will win, because people are tired and there isn't anything tangible that they have delivered since they came into power.
Are you hoping Nelson Chamisa will win just because you want a change of regime, or are you hopeful for some of the promises he made in his election campaign?
No, the thing is, we grew up being told that we should be the leaders of tomorrow, the youth. Do you understand? So it's time that the old guard also gives a chance to the youth, so that they can also, implement their innovative ideas and new ideas, because the current dispensation has been in power for the past 32 or more years. So nothing really tangible is. I think they've done their duty. I'll give credit to them, but we also need new and innovative ideas, and only the youth is able to deliver such.
Thank you so much for your call, Tinashe. Well, we'll know in about a day or so whether your wishes have come true.
Tinashe illustrates a very good point in terms of the youth vote. That is very key, isn't it? Because there's just over 43% of the voters that are currently under 35. So the youth vote is a key component to this election. Also, the rural vote forms a large block.
Nelson Chamisa brought up that point about the importance of the rural ballot being the valid and the proper ballot, because if that wasn't the case, it would be difficult to trace where shenanigans had crept in.
Okay, let's continue with our callers. Changarai from PE. A very good morning to you.
Yes, morning, friend. How are you, sir?
Very well, and you, sir? What's your comment?
My comment is I don't see any problem with Emerson Mnangagwa.
Why not? What appeals to you about him?
Yeah, my own view is I can simply say Emerson, as he started to change to remove Mugabe, we can see that he is the one who have got the real change that one, because you can see now Chamisa is with Mugabe. You see.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed for your comments. We are inviting you as our viewer to take part in our topic of today, and we asking you the question. What do you make in terms of the court allegations of Nelson Chamisa flouting?
And Griselda confirming there that the Zimbabwean Electoral Commission is taking Nelson Chamisa to court.
Yeah. So give us your comments. Tell us what you think about today. Send us your comments at the agenda_SABC. Remember, you can also send us a video comments as well as your voice notes to our WhatsApp line 0817328421.
And talking of the WhatsApp line, we have a video caller right now. Let's see what they have to say.
Mnangagwa must just accept defeat. Even though elections are not yet finished, counted, he must just accept defeat and just go.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at your poll. What do you think, or who do you think, will win the elections? 32% saying ZANU-PF, 58% saying the MDC, and 10% saying the other parties.
Do you think the others stand a chance, though?
You know, people have been mooting this as an election of the two parties, ZANU-PF and MDC. I guess they have huge following, and the others. It's parliamentary elections as well as the presidential elections. So I guess they will fit in somewhere.
Yeah.
But from what punters and analysts are saying, it's the two front runners, Nelson Chamisa, as well as the incumbent president, Emerson Mnangagwa.
We're continuing to give you rolling coverage of the Zimbabwean election. Remember, any time now, we might be crossing to Peter Ndoro, where the president of Zimbabwe, the incumbent, should be voting any moment now.
Yeah, keep it locked on to the agenda, SABC News. We'll take a bit of a break. Oh no, we've got one more caller. Let's try to squeeze in a caller.
Kelvin from Nelspruit.
Yes, hello.
What are your thoughts this morning, Kelvin?
Sorry?
What's on your mind today?
Yeah, I think Nelson Chamisa will win.
Why do you think that?
Right. First of all, Mnangagwa has been lying in terms of the Royal Electoral people. They are now running away from his campaigns. Recently, there are videos showing people running away. They are fed up. So everyone wants Chamisa now. So there's a landslide doing on Chamisa.
What for you will happen if Chamisa wins?
Yeah, I know there will be more jobs, because if you check the 2008 elections, when they had that government of national unity, the time when Chamisa, when Tsvangirai got into power as the vice president, they helped to change the economy. So science got real promises as compared to Mnangagwa, who has been there for 38 years as a deputy to Mugabe.
Kelvin from Nelspruit, would be lovely to continue interacting with him, but that line is not too perfect.
Yeah. Let's look at some of the numbers. Remember, there are about 5.6 million Zimbabweans that have registered to vote. As I mentioned, the youth vote is very key. There's about 43.5% of the voters that are under 35. And in terms of the polling stations, there's about 11,000 polling stations. And it's been, 16 years? This is the reportedly 16 years since the EU and the US observers were allowed to monitor elections. So that the dynamics have definitely changed in Zimbabwe. The poll today, who do you think will win the Zim elections? 32% ZANU-PF, 58% MDC, and 10% others. 1,497 votes cast so far.
Remember, you can continue to vote throughout the duration of this show and afterwards. So let us know what your feelings are.
Yeah, quick break. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us.